somebody who's trying to help small businesses is Pete Snyder with his VA 30-day fund, which is now funded well over 100 small companies. They got a lot of applications. They need more donations. He's made a huge difference across the Commonwealth for many small businesses, and he's joining us now, former candidate for Lieutenant Governor 2013, Pete Snyder. Pete, great to have you with us, man.
Hey, Johnny, great to be with you, and glad that you're in the Delta, brother. That's that's the home of Burson Snyder's people, right?
No, I didn't.
Family
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Burson's family is from Leland and Oakland, Mississippi, Yalobusha County, Washington County. How the hell do you think I learned how to do barbecue?
Well, this is the place for barbecue, but there's only one place open. I got to get it curbside. It's called Abe's Barbecue in Clarksdale. I've been here 5 days. I've eaten there 3 out of the 5 days.
I know that place, man. That's good.
Abe's is great. It's just a little corner, but look, I'm in the highest poverty region in the highest poverty state in the United States. Just trying to talk to people here, seeing how they're coping with the shutdown. Everybody I talk to, they just want to get back to work. I mean, it's just they care less about anything but getting back to work, and they understand that they might get sick, but they just want to go back to work, Pete.
Well, John, you know that we're at Virginia 30-Day Fund talking to struggling entrepreneurs, dozens of them every single day. People are confused. People are hurting. The pain is deep out there. And people want to reopen their shop. They want to get to work. They want to bring income in. They want to make sure that their people are taken care of. When you're an entrepreneur, your business is as close to your soul. Family and faith are first and second. But I got to tell you, your business is a close third. It's part of your soul.
Well, one of the things I want to talk to you about today is, not only your fund and the tremendous impact that you're making and the number of companies you've been able to fund and what a difference it's made, Pete, but you've got a lot more applications than you have funding for. So you're talking to small business owners every day because they're sending in the applications, they're sending videos, you're talking to them. What are they saying? Just give us a sense of, from your standpoint, what are small businesses saying now? Owners.
Well, John, I got to tell you, I thought, when Burson and I started this with a handful of other really good folks, Jim Chang, Todd Stoudemire, Bobby Kilberg, a number of folks that your audience knows really, really well, we thought we knew what the problem was, right? Businesses are shut down. We thought you don't put something like Virginia 30-Day Fund together if you don't think you have a small solution to a very big problem. And it really took probably a handful of hours into day one when we were flooded. We had one Washington Post article and nothing else, and we had 120 applications, flood in over just a mere few hours. And I realized, oh my word, we don't know the tenth of this thing. The pain is that deep and it's that bad. People are fighting for their livelihoods. They're fighting for their families. They're confused. They're hurt. And they need help. So that's where we're stepping in. They need your listeners' help. And you have put out the call to action many, many times for folks to donate. But they're not getting the guidance. They're confused at a national level. They're confused at a state and local level. And they simply don't know what to do, and they want to get back to work.
How are they reacting to the fact that there's uncertainty? Like they don't know it's the 8th, the 15th. A couple of guys that I've talked to that are in your network told me they were planning for the 8th, which means they have to order stuff, right? They have to order inventory.
Yeah, John, you and Ann run a small business. You have many, many times over the years. One of the biggest killers of small business is uncertainty. You need to be able to plan. And again, from on a federal level, on a state level, on a local level, many of these folks feel like the rug's being pulled out from under them again and again and again. And they're trying to adapt. They're trying to innovate their businesses to be able to, if you're in the hospitality and restaurant industry, we had one really creative entrepreneur, Shorty's Diner in Williamsburg. The entrepreneur there, since they were closed down, decided that he was going to pop a hole in the side of his building and create a pickup window. He has frozen yogurt, and he said, well, look, we're closed anyway. Let's do something that's going to benefit us in high season when people are back and living their lives. So they're trying to innovate. They're trying to make sure that their businesses will be alive when things reopen and that they can thrive in the future.
How do you see Virginia reopening?
Unfortunately, John, look, you can't be an entrepreneur if you're not an optimist. I'm a very optimistic person. I think I am slightly pessimistic about what the next couple of weeks are going to bring. Just because you say, hey, things are open, doesn't mean that consumer behavior is going to follow. It doesn't mean that people are going to be running to bring their family into a crowded restaurant of 50 people or 100 people. Doesn't mean, as much of a sports junkie as you and I are, doesn't mean that we're going to be going to a game together and being around 65,000 other people. I am, look at higher education. Are kids coming back in August? I don't know. We better be on the warpath to a vaccine, or having ways to properly test, having things that we can make sure that folks are safe. So, it's one thing to just have some bureaucrat somewhere or elected official to suddenly declare that everything's fine and we're quote unquote back open, but it's an entirely different thing to have consumer confidence so that behavior returns. Two very different things.
So you're talking about the demand side. You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network. We're live in Clarksdale, Mississippi in the Delta. We're with Pete Snyder. Pete is the founder, along with his wife, Burson, of the VA 30-Day Fund, helping small businesses survive this shutdown until they can get back open and get some revenue coming in the door. Go to va30dayfund.com. They funded right now well over 100 small businesses.
Johnny, we're at 141. We're at your number.
Boy, you're almost $1.50. I mean,
yeah, we're going to be $1.50 by the end of the day. I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's like $500,000, and that is, I mean, each business getting about $3,000. It's a godsend to a lot of people. Go to va30dayfund.com. Anything you can donate, 10, 25, $50. There's no administrative costs. Pete doesn't take any money out. Burson, his wife, takes no money out. Normally these funds, half the money is going to admin costs or more. Every penny you put in is going to go to a deserving small business that's trying to stay open. Pete, I want to get to what you just said, though, about colleges, because this is a fear now that people have, that regardless of what public schools do, and I don't think you can open the economy and not get kids back to school. You can't do it. So I see that happening.
But what does open the economy mean, John? I mean, honestly,
open the economy.
What does it mean?
Well, there's two things. What it means is I can open my store and the government's not telling me how many people that I can have in it and what exactly I can do. Now, you have the demand side, which we experienced last week in Atlanta. Kemp opened up Atlanta. You can do whatever you want. A lot of companies didn't open because they were afraid of being sued, and those that didn't have any customers anyway because nobody comes out and everybody's walking around with a mask on. So the demand side has been crushed. I don't know how long that's going to take, maybe over time, but there's a movement now that people are telling me Virginia colleges other than Liberty, they're just not going to open. They're not
look, Johnny, I don't know about that, and I don't pretend to. I'm a former Board of Visitor member of the College of William and Mary. I'm an alum there. I have zero insight into what the higher-ups are doing, but I know there's a lot of doubt. And I just know if my child, B's 5 years old, but if she were, 16, if she was 17 years old, and, going back to campus, I would want to make sure that there was proper testing, that we were far down the path of trying to find a cure to this horrible disease. Let me ask you something. What does proper testing do? Like, I could get tested right now in Clarksdale, and I could test negative. Whoopee, right? I'll do a dance. Then I can go to the BP station, pump gas, buy a cup of coffee, get a soda, get in my car, and I pick the virus up, and now I'm positive. Where I'm going with this is, I want to make sure that. Hey, Johnny, I would think if you're going to bring a whole lot of people together living in close proximity on a campus, you're going to you need to make sure that everyone has been tested, that we're looking for various ways to show that you could be immune to this disease. I mean, that's where I'm going. I think and I don't pretend, like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a first responder, I have zero medical background whatsoever. Where I'm going is the demand side, as you said, of how are we going to change consumer behavior? Are students and parents going to feel that their kids are safe on campus, living in close proximity to others when you don't know what the other person has been up to? Now, look, that may be a non-starter because at that
it's a non-starter because
demographic.
Because do you know? You know how many people under? You know how many people under 18 have died from COVID-19? Zero. So the chances of you dying in college are zero.
Yeah, Johnny, but it's not about, like, I gotta tell you, look, I don't have an opinion on open or closed. I don't have enough information on that. But what about the staff? What about the teachers? I mean, we just need to have better data, which we don't have. You're right. One model's up, one model's down. What we're hearing, by and large, from authority figures is BS. So it's hard to make decisions on that. So again, I'm just a business guy. I'm looking at, it's fine. You were just talking about Brian Kemp. It's fine that he opened and did whatever he did as governor. But if the consumers don't show up, the business owners still SOL. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. See,
that's why we're focused. And that's why, instead of getting into debates on, up or down or whatever, Burson and I and a lot of others are focused on just making sure that these people can get by. We're at 141 companies that we've funded so far. That number is going to grow to hundreds and hundreds of companies across Virginia because they need it. The demand is that high. That's the demand that I care about. And, we're really thrilled. We're talking about, William & Mary in Williamsburg. Just yesterday, we were able to announce a pretty groundbreaking partnership with the Greater Williamsburg Partnership, John, the Community Foundation in Williamsburg. So this is kind of public-private sectors coming together. They decided to partner with us because they saw that we were really the economic Marines out there, that we had a system. We were getting money in the hands with zero overhead of small businesses faster than anyone else. And instead of doing their own thing, they joined up with us. And it was just, fantastic. As you know, Williamsburg means a lot to me. That whole area, forget Silicon Valley. There has never been an area on earth that has spurned and created more jobs, more prosperity and wealth, and more liberty than Williamsburg. It's just a fact. The original entrepreneurs, the OGs of entrepreneurship, came there and started the single most successful startup in the history of the world, the United States of America. So that place is hurting right now. It's home to me, and we're doing everything we can to help. We're going to be helping save hundreds of jobs in the Williamsburg area and dozens of companies.
You're right.
Thanks to your audience.
Well, thank you, Pete. But you're right. Williamsburg is almost like ground zero, right? Because
it's Mesopotamia.
All these jobs are gone now.
Exactly. Yeah. It truly is.
We got the mayor of Virginia Beach. I know you know him well. Bobby Dyer sent a letter to Ralph Northam asking for the beaches to be open because he's got thousands of businesses there all in the beach community that they survive in the summer with the people that go to the beaches. And if the beaches aren't open, they're all gone. I mean, they're all going to claim bankruptcy. This is really a sad situation, and I was just so sick when the governor got up yesterday, extended it for another week, had no reason why, people losing money, going bankrupt. He had no data to support any of his decisions, and people are filing bankruptcy and losing their companies by the hour, and he's just extending it a week because he was afraid what Blue Virginia would put in their blog that 250 people read. I mean, it's I don't know where we're going here, but what you have done is actionable. And Pete, you and Burson, you've made a huge difference, and I know you've been working tirelessly on this. I mean, just think about it. You launched this a month ago. You funded, which is going to be after today, 150 companies. You've raised $500,000 to do that, and
we raised 900,
would have already folded. Huh?
We raised 900. Every day that passes, our numbers rise. Unfortunately, the numbers of applications rise, but the number of businesses we fund rises. We're knocking on the door of $1 million raised that we are deploying as fast as we possibly can. Now, some of those are in pledges, so the money's not in the door yet. But we are, getting terrific support from the community, from your listeners, and we got a lot of work as you're just detailing in this conversation, in your conversation with Steve Bannon earlier. This thing's not going away. There's no one's going to flick a switch and and everything's better. This is going to be a problem for a while. We named the fund the 30-day fund because we thought, hey, look, it's only going to be a couple weeks where we can help people out, help them get the bridge to PPP. That money's not flowing quickly enough. The pain and devastation. I mean, we're gonna have to be around for 60 days, 90 days, whatever it may be. But it certainly isn't 30 because this problem is not going away.
Well, and it's part of it is, Pete Snyder, what you hit on, which is the numbers are all over the board. I mean, every day you get a different number, so therefore no one has confidence in any of the numbers, and people want to emphasize different things. Like, I emphasize, to me, all I'm interested in is hospital beds. I mean, Steve said it's about people dead. I don't know who's coded as COVID-19. Here's what I do know. The government sold me on shuttering the economy and stopping the levers of production so we didn't overrun our healthcare system. That's what they told me. That's what we did. Healthcare system's not overrun. Plenty of ventilators. Virginia's got 5,000 beds. Why do we have to extend it a week? No one knows. No answers. And so that in and of itself is creating fear and apprehension, and that's what's hammering the demand side. In Atlanta last week, it hit me in the face. Brian Kemp can open the state all he wants, but if people don't come out, it doesn't matter. And
and John, and that's why, look, you with your profession and what you do for a living, you're doing the right thing by leading this debate and making sure that we're shining a light onto just the complete and utter BS we're getting from everyone out there, national, state, local, you name it. It's just, it doesn't make sense. So you're doing the right thing for you. For me, I like to control what I can control. And the fact is, I can engage in all sorts of debate. It doesn't help a single person. So we're just trying to hustle and do everything we can to save as many jobs and as many businesses as possible. Because, open, closed, whatever that may be, people are still going to be hurting. The consumer demand is not going to be the same. This is going to be longer, darker, harder than anyone ever imagined. Now, look, we're scrappy. We're Americans. Like, don't count us out. Warren Buffett's right. Like, we're gonna get through this. It's just going to be longer and harder and more painful than anyone really imagined. So that's why we're doing what we're doing with Virginia 30-Day Fund.
I love what you're doing. I want it to keep growing because you're making a huge difference, Pete. And my bestie wife, Burson, who was part of this from day one, time, a lot of effort. And I want to thank you for that. And look, if you got $15, $25, $50, here's the fund to give it to, because it's going to go right to small businesses, which is the backbone of the economic engine of this country. And this money is real. It's not $100,000, it's $3,000, but it's getting small businesses through a month of payroll, rent, utilities, all the things they have to do, all that stuff. Go to va30dayfund.com. Give them $50. Don't have that, give them 20. VA 30-Day Fund. You got 500, that's fine. VA30dayfund.com.